Welcome everybody, and thank you, Gail, for having me here. It's always a pleasure to speak at OMA events. And anyway, today I would like to talk about future, how to attract desired future. And also want to offer you just a fun exercise, just traveling to the future lifetime. And we'll see what happens out of that. Everybody will have a chance after that to share their experiences, their insights. So just get ready for fun. But first, let's talk a little bit about future. So what is future in multi-dimensional perspective? Because a lot of people think that future is something that is carved in stone, that is destined to happen. And that's why many people go to intuitives, to go to psychics, and they ask that, please tell me what will happen in 3 years, in 5 years, or even in 1 month. And this is not exactly the right way of handling future, because future is always changing. There is nothing set. And it changes because future is actually many potentials which exist in the now moment. So basically everything you can think about is possible. Every crazy idea you might have right now, which might seem to you as impossible, it is possible. The difference is that some future potentials can have, I don't know, 80% of probability that they will happen. And some can have 8% of probability. So you can feel the difference. Normally, I tell people that if something is 50%, more than 50% probable, it makes sense to invest into it. Yes, if it's not, probably doesn't make much sense. The area which is sort of shaky is between 45 and 55%. What would you do with that? Because it can go either direction. But again, if you go to any kind of intuitive and she or he will tell you that this is destined to happen, don't trust it. It's not because this intuitive is wrong or lying. No way. Because they are intuitive and they are sensing the biggest potential available for you right now. That's what they're trained in. That's what their gifts are. So they feel this potential, they tell you. But if you look at things multidimensionally, you will know that even if this is 80% and you don't want this to happen, you can reduce it to 0. Or another potential, which right now is at 1-2%, you can grow it and make it like 80-90%. Like it's very difficult to find 100% of something. So how do you do it? What do you do to make things you want to happen? I will share with you different methods like I use in my practice, or I talk to my clients about. But before that, I want to give you another example. Let's say, like we all know that there were a lot of predictions from prophets of the past, big prophets, about 2012, that something big will happen, it will be the end of times, and so on. So it's like 2022, we're still here, right? So does it mean that they were wrong? Not exactly. There was a big potential that something will happen, but we all together collectively, we managed to change this potential and we're still here. And besides, even this shift that was supposed to happen in 2012, it's just not like one day shift. When you look from the perspective of the universe, I think the number is it was supposed to happen in 36 years. So like 18 years before 2012 and then 18 years after 2012. So it all started, I'm calculating, probably in 1994, right? And you know what happened in 1994? I wanted to share with you that last fall, I happened to travel to Italy to a spiritual community, which is called Damanhur. It's City of Light, if you translate it. And first, I like probably the first chance of me to meet representative of Damanhur was through Omar, like a real one, at one of the events when they were live or in-person events. And so we talked to the philosopher. I was a member of a big group, spiritual group from many countries, and the group was pretty much advanced, evolved, however you call it. So they created a special program for us, and among other things, we talked to philosophers of Damanhur, and we asked about many things about what's going on now, and so I'm trying to connect it to 1994. So they told us is in 1967 there was the beginning of building of a new timeline, which means that for 2,000 years their history, the development of history of humanity was going in a way that we were under control of some evil forces. And but about 1967, it was became possible to build a new timeline. Just to get out of that control. And it's easy to start building. It's much more difficult to keep it going. So that's the big difference. So that's why in 50s and 60s, there were a lot of big teachers who incarnated into human bodies. And you probably know a lot of them. I mean, really big teachers. By probably 80s, 90s, they were already well-known, well-established teachers, and they started spreading their knowledge, their information they possessed all over. And it is believed that in 1993, awakening became a worldwide process. And now you connect, like 1993, they tell us it became all over the world. In 1994, the shift started, and we're right now still in the middle of this shift. So again, the reason we're past 2012 and we're still here, and means that we were able, just by the fact that more and more people are becoming awakened, we are shifting the course of human history. So again, going back to how you can attract desired future, not necessarily like for the humanity, but for your own life, like little everyday thing. Probably the most common thing is focusing your attention on something, because we know what we focus on, that what will happen. That's how it works electromagnetically. I will give you an example, maybe not connected to spirituality, but you will get me. Like probably a couple of weeks ago, I was driving somewhere, and I live outside of Pittsburgh, where there is no big traffic here. And I was in my car sitting at an intersection, and there was the red light. And the red light is about to turn into green, and everybody is getting ready to start, right? And all of a sudden, I hear there is like very, very loud beeping of a car horn coming from the left somewhere. And it was so loud that everybody stopped looking like what was going on. And there is a car coming from the left and rushing through the intersection. So obviously the driver lost control of the car, and he was beeping like crazy just to let everybody know, please stop, don't move anywhere. So it went well. He rushed through the intersection. And then on the right side, there was a field. There is nothing in that field but for one electric pole. Where do you think this poor car ended up at? It went right into this pole. And you know why? Because probably the driver was thinking, just not this pole, not this pole. He was focused on it, trying to avoid, but he was still focused. That's why he got to where he was focused. That's what happened. So be very careful what you are focused on, because if you are focused that I don't want this to happen, you will exactly attract this same thing in your life, because universe is just receiving your signal. It receives your signals, and it doesn't differentiate what signals there are, if they are good or bad. And some people get very upset with me when I tell them that the universe is neutral. They want universe to make decisions for us. Like if it's a good thing, I allow it to happen. If it's a bad thing, I will protect you. No, it's not how a universe works. Universe is neutral. It receives our signals and it gives it back to us in form of circumstances. So that's why first thing, just be very careful about what you are focused on. Another thing, when you want something to achieve, you have some plans for the future, and for whatever reason, they just don't come together. Like you want to start a certain career, and no matter what you do, it just doesn't start. In this case, I would check if whatever activity you want to do, if it's aligned with your soul gifts or your superpowers. Because when whatever we do in our lives is aligned with our gifts, then again, we're getting a lot of support from the universe and things just go easily. And we know we're doing what we're supposed to do, things just unfold for us. We go with the flow. But if like your parents or like family, kids, anybody, neighbors tell you that, you know, you should go that direction because everybody goes there and becomes very successful, and you listen to them, but it might not be at all what you are supposed to do. It might be not aligned with your gift, but you still, like mentally, you persuade yourself that, okay, I will go there. And then when you, in this case, you don't have that much support from the universe, and then it means that you will be facing a lot of obstacles. It will be like trying to swim against or up the river against the flow, and everything will be difficult. And at the end, when you get to where you wanted to get, you will look around and ask yourself, what I'm doing here? It's not mine. I don't want to do it. So whenever you put your goals that you want to achieve, if things go smoothly and nicely, probably on your right track. But if you are on the right track, but if you have to overcome millions of obstacles and everything is frustrating, just ask yourself, if the goal is really the one I should be put in front of myself. Maybe it should be something different, and I will feel much more joyful if I do something different. And you know, people always like ask me, how do I know what I'm supposed to do, who I am? Like, because not everybody comes like to get an Akashic Records reading to find out what your dominant energies are. But just remember who you wanted to be when you were a kid. Because when we're kids, we remember like what areas you wanted to express yourselves in, because when we're kids, we're very close to ourselves. We still remember who we truly are. Before society like build this a nice box around us, or we allowed society to build this box and just was living within it. But a lot of people tell me like my little daughter, like she, when I look through the records, I find like she's her dominant energies of order, of law, of perfection. And the family would tell me, you know, since she was very little, we would call her our little home lawyer, because she always knows how everything should be organized, what should be done. She wants everybody to be in peace. If there is some argument in the house, she will always find a way to people to come to peace. So that's how they called her. And again, she knows it. She expresses it, though she is a little kid. Another girl, they called her, she was a little one, but they called her our little grandma, though she was like 9 years old, because she had this wisdom of an old lady, as if she lived her old life already. So maybe her purpose is to be like something sharing, to be a teacher, right, or counselor, sharing her wisdom. Just remember what you wanted to do where you were kids. Another person would tell me, you know, since I was young, I wanted to dance. And now I'm just doing something in the office and I'm not happy about it at all. So again, society told her, you would be better off sitting in the office, having a permanent job. And she gave up of her idea. And yes, I understand we all need to eat and we need to have means to support ourselves, but you can dance on the side, right? You can find a way. I always wanted to be a musician, but I knew it will be a struggle for me. Still, I found Pittsburgh Civic Orchestra, and I go to rehearsals like every week, and I'm happy about it, and I can still express and do what I want. So everybody just think about it, how you what you wanted and to do what you wanted to be. So set your goals that are aligned with who you are, and it will be much easier to achieve them. I already talked about partnering with universe for the purpose of attracting some future. I would like to talk a little bit more about it. Like we are all, we have energy body, right? We're all electromagnetic in nature because energy has electromagnetic properties. And our future is sort of represented by the front part of our electromagnetic field. So if you have like normally what happens when you have some idea, let's say you come up with the idea, I want to start like a business of a healer or counselor, whatever. And you get all excited about it, right? This great idea, I know I have all knowledge to do it, and I know I'm good with people and I want to help people. And this bright idea, you get excited, and then you start talking to your surrounding, like to your family, your friends about it. And there will be absolutely for sure somebody who will tell you, you, a healer, you will never become it. No, it's not for you. Maybe somebody else. Don't waste your time. Just go work in the office like every normal person does. And you know what is the interesting thing? That the person who will tell you this, he is not the one who is a healer himself, right? This is the person who doesn't know, who never tried it, never did anything like that, but still they know everything, yes, and they feel that they can affect you and help you. Again, they're doing with their best intentions, but maybe they're not really helping. So another maybe tip on attracting what you want: don't listen to people who are not experts in the field. You know, a lot of like sometimes I go to all kind of personal development meetings, and people who they're not about spirituality, but they are all like more about money, becoming successful and everything. But there you can get a lot of interesting stuff out of that. And they always say that people who are successful, they are they are willing to share their success stories with you. And one of my good friends, Frank McKinney, who is a real estate developer, huge in Florida, the way he started his career, he worked like a tennis teacher at a tennis court. And there were a lot of rich people, obviously, playing tennis. And after he taught them their lessons, they would just sit together on a bench and he would ask them, how do you get to where you are? And they would all tell them how to, because they were successful and they wanted to share their stories. And that was his big education, as he told, right? Just listen to those who did it, who were successful in that. And I'm not saying follow their path because everybody is different, but still you can learn a lot, and you will learn what will work for you and what will not work for you. But absolutely do not listen to those who never tried it and they don't know. They're just, from their perspective, they're thinking they're doing a favor, but in fact they are not. So you have this idea, you are past those who tried to discourage you. And then how to make this idea happen. Literally, you can think about this idea like electromagnetic charge. Like everything is electromagnetic. Our thoughts are also electromagnetic, and put just electromagnetic charge in the front of your energetic body. Just imagine it. It's very easy to talk to kids. You tell them, just put this charge in the front of your electromagnetic field. They do it right away. It's grown-ups who start asking questions. How do I do it? How many inches it in front of me? and can I put it on the level of my head or on the level of my, I don't know, stomach or where? It's grown-ups. We have too many thoughts. Kids just do it. So become a kid, do it. Don't ask how, just do it. And then you put this charge in the front of your energetic field, and right on the border where your energetic field borders the universal field, like it's sitting this charge and it starts beaming energy everywhere, saying, I want to become this healer, right? Or I want to become a counselor. And when it beams to the universe, we already, and the more you focus on it, so everything I talked about, I'm just putting together, the more you focused on it, the more energy you put into this charge, the charge becomes bigger, brighter, so the more signals it sends to the universe, and universe will start replying to you by situations, by circumstances. Let's say you, let's say you want to take a trip to Hawaii, for example. So if you start putting this idea in the front of your energetic body that I want to go to Hawaii, don't expect the universe to send you tickets to Hawaii. No matter how many times you will check your mail, you will not get them. But universe can put you in touch with some other person who also wants to take a trip to Hawaii. And then you can probably share costs of living there or whatever, right? So it will be, you still have to pay for your tickets, but there is something you can save on. Or universe will give you a chance to take some temporary second job, and you will get money with this job to pay for your ticket. So just pay attention to what universe will send you, and that will just use it. Don't just don't let it go. Like same as I told you about my trip to Damanhur. The first time I met a representative of Damanhur was about probably 2.5 or 3.5 years ago. It was before pandemic. And I went to Oma's meeting, and after the meeting, I knew I need to go there. Just, I don't know how, I don't know when, but I have this idea, this desire. I want to go there. And I started looking. I really kind of put it out into the universe. My signals are beaming out. I'm waiting for the universe to respond. And then I'm a member of different international groups. So then one of the groups is putting out information that, okay, we're organizing a trip to Damanhur, who is with us? So I was the number one to sign up. Of course, then pandemic hit, so everything was put on hold. But they still, after maybe a year and a half, they still did this trip, and there was a big group, and I got there. Just you need to watch. And again, all the experiences I got only because I was a part of this group. Individually, I wouldn't have been able to go through this program. They don't give it to individual people because it's too much involved. So I got the most of experience that was possible at that time, and universe helped me by putting together this group for me, and I just needed to react when the information showed up. Again, nobody invited me, literally. I just saw it popping up somewhere and I reacted. So look at all these signs, they always come. Just giving you different examples so you know what to look for. And also, of course, we need to act. After universe sends you some signals or some signs, we need to act on these signs, right? Get in touch with this group, find out when they're leaving, right? How much money you need for it. Start doing something, because you can sit at home and meditate like your whole life, that hoping for something to happen. It will not happen till you start taking actual physical actions, right? So actions are very important. Another thing, sometimes it's very helpful. It's looking like if you want something to happen. So imagine you're already there. And then from the future, build a sort of a bridge connecting to your now moment. And just building this bridge, see what actions you took in order to walk this bridge. Again, sometimes it's even helpful, like if it's summer and you can just draw a circle around yourself on asphalt or wherever. So this is your now moment. And then next to you, draw another circle with chalk, with a piece of chalk. And this is your future moment where you want to be. And just first stay in the now moment and then make this one step to the right and get into another circle and look from this new circle into the old one and ask yourself, how did I get there? And there is a lot of wisdom in this. So create your future from being in the future and just looking back. How you can figure out how to do it. Like many years ago, before I moved here to US, I had business in my hometown and I had a partner and I was very worried. How am I initially I planned to come just for a couple of years while my son was in school here. And I still was worried how my partner is going to handle it all. And I did exactly what I told you. I just made this circle. It was winter, so I couldn't take a piece of chalk, but I took a line, like a sort of a rope, made one rope in my kitchen and then another circle with another piece of rope, and just looked and I saw, okay, I can do it. Even if I'm there, I will be able to work online. And 20 years online wasn't what it is now online. So we didn't have all this Zoom stuff and stuff like that, but still we had internet. That's the main thing. I knew that I will be able to do this, this, and this, and everything will be fine. And I did it. So there were no problems. Just use this thing. And also another maybe helpful advice, sometimes things just do not happen because we have certain blocks within us. Maybe these blocks were created in current lifetime, or maybe they were created in other lifetimes. And right now they are work like patterns, like energetic patterns, and like a grove basically. And you are just keep moving along the same line and just having same things just happen to you over and over again, and being like not as successful or not achieving what you want to achieve. And it might be just some anchors from the past that hold you back. That's why it's very helpful to work with your blocks and limitations that prevent you from achieving what you want. And there are many, many modalities, right? You can do just energetic work. You can do Akashic records, then you look at it from the perspective of other lifetimes. You can, like on mental level, there's a lot of blocks, like all kind of beliefs that we get when we are kids. We get a lot of beliefs coming from our family. And like one lady told me that when she was a young kid, her father would take her for a walk to some rich neighborhood, and looking at these beautiful houses, he would point to them and said, "You will never live in anything like that." So you see, he was programmed here that don't even think about it. You will never get it. Why not? Maybe she could get it, not exactly like that, but a different nice house and still be successful. But this beliefs, this programs, they are sitting, a lot of them sit from our childhood, from our family, from our parents. You can work with them. They don't have to stay with you forever. If you indicate this program, you're aware of it, there are different ways to work with them and get rid of them and start building just new paths however you want to build it, so that you don't have to repeat same go over same patterns over and over again. So that's kind of my little tips, what I wanted to share with you.